What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my Horror Corner. I'm Drop Dead Fred. Hope you're all having a great day, great week, and today we are looking at the 1931 classic horror film, Frankenstein. It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Directed by James Whale, who also made a lot of other movies, but he made quite a few other Universal monster movies, like The Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, and then this isn't necessarily a Universal monster movie, but a really cool movie, The Old Dark House. Now, riding up the success of Dracula, Universal Studios started releasing these horror films and what would now be known as the Universal monster movies. So the movie stars Colin Clive as Henry Frankenstein, the Mad Doctor. Now, he isn't necessarily the first Mad Doctor, but I definitely feel like, in my opinion, though I am pretty new to these movies, so definitely correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the Doctor in this movie definitely perfected the whole mad scientist. We also have fucking Boris Karloff, who I believe this is probably my first Boris Karloff movie. Hey! The movie also stars, which I thought was really freaking cool, that they brought characters or actors from the Dracula movie and had them play people in this movie. We have Edward Van Sloan, who was playing Van Helsing in Dracula, and in this one he plays Dr. Frankenstein's mentor, his teacher, if you will. And then we have, of course, Dwight Frye. Okay, so unfortunately Dwight Frye died at the age of 44 due to a heart attack, but he just seems to be one of my favorite actors that pop up in these movies that I love, and I want to check out more of his stuff because Dwight Frye as Fritz, his assistant, which I learned that in the novel, I have not read Frankenstein, the novel, he doesn't have an assistant, Dr. Frankenstein, and in the movie, he's got Fritz, this hunchback type of assistant, like, yes, master. So apparently this movie started the whole trope also to the whole mad scientist having a hunchback or a type of deformed little assistant, which I thought was fucking cool and badass, and probably one of my more favorite parts of the movie, though Fritz is a fucking piece of shit. So if you've never seen the Frankenstein movie, you have to have seen the monster at some freaking point. I mean, I think I watched Young Frankenstein, which is like a parody of both the first two movies, and it fucking is so hilarious. I definitely recommend all the horror movies. No, don't do that. There's a lot of fucking bad eggs. You've definitely seen this monster, parodied in one way or another, or showed up at some other movie. The story follows Dr. Frankenstein. He is looking to create life, and he is absolutely obsessed with life and death and wants to create a sort of being. And he takes different body parts and does this experiment which has to do something with ultraviolet light and things like that, but it's fucking a badass scene where he essentially brings to life this fucking human being that was just carved up from different parts. And really quick, this fucking movie is sad. This is a fucking tragic movie. I was not expecting it to be as sad as it was. I've kind of had an idea how it would end, but throughout the whole movie, I was genuinely, I was putting myself in the mindset of what people would have thought seeing this back in 1931. And holy shit, I mean, the movie starts off with one of the actors basically breaking the fourth wall and just giving you a warning saying, hey, the producer wanted me to let y'all know what you're about to see is fucked up. Here's a fair warning. And there's a lot of imagery and a lot of scenery back in 1931 where I can definitely see why this was shocking. I mean, there's two things I believe. I mean, okay, I know I'm kind of rambling. There's two things I'm going to talk about that got edited, but apparently this movie was just striked. They kept coming at it, and they were saying, no, you got to change this, you got to change that, because it was fucked up. You're probably asking, what makes it so tragic? He's a monster. He deserves to die. Nah, dude. This is messed up in a whole nother level. Because the monster just wants to live. He doesn't know anything from right from wrong. He's fucking just born. He was just given life out of nowhere. And all he can do is essentially just react to these emotions that he doesn't even know what the emotions are. And it's fucked up because they beat him. They lock him up. They chain him up. And it's not his fault. He doesn't know. Yet, there's a part where when he's alive and Fritz gets close to him with a torch and he reacts. You know, he's scared. The fire just freaks him out. He doesn't know what that is. It's hot. And they end up just like beating him up, tying him up, and they chain him downstairs in the basement. And he's all mad. Of course he's mad. I mean, wouldn't you be mad if you're just fucking being locked up and everything, beaten, harassed by this little hunchback dude? This is the part where I was saying earlier with Dwight Fright's character in this movie. Fuck this Fritz dude. Man, he's a piece of shit. He just beats on Frankenstein, the monster. I mean, I don't know why he hates on the monster. He's like, fuck you. Ah! Tries to like fucking show the fire, whipping him, hitting him for no reason. But you know what? Karma's a motherfucker, because what happens, Fritz? What happens? You got. You got because you play with fire and you get burned. But no, Frank, the monster freaking kills Fritz and hangs him. And, you know, rightfully so, dude. He's reacting. He's reacting to this person whipping him and harassing him and everything. It sucks to see what the monster ends up going through ultimately, because he doesn't know any better. And that, I feel like, is what makes this movie very tragic, because of how it ends up playing out. But anyways, moving on. Opening fucking scene of this movie is brilliant in every way. Holy shit. The imagery of it opens up, okay. It opens up in the cemetery. There's a funeral going on. People are very upset. And then you just see over there, like, low-key hiding Dr. Frankenstein and Fritz, just like, you know, hide. And they're waiting for this funeral to be over so they can come and basically dig up the body and use whatever they need to create the fucking monster. The background alone, while they're digging, there's like this like statue of like this skeleton Grim Reaper looking guy. There's a bunch of crosses in the back. It's fucking beautiful. Black and white has never looked so good. Right after they steal this fucking body from this funeral that just happened, they're walking and they come across somebody hanging from a gallows, and they're just like, fuck it, let's try to take that too. But I guess he even says the neck is broken, so the brain is useless. And he's like, we have to find another brain. Which leads into another one of my favorite scenes, is Fritz attempting to steal a brain from Dr. Frankenstein's old mentor, Edward Van Sloan's character in the movie. And I remember seeing this part in Young Frankenstein, and this is one of my favorite parts in Young Frankenstein. But I didn't know. I thought this was just a spoof on Frankenstein. I had no idea that this was legit in the movie. Fritz goes and breaks into the classroom, and he steals a brain that says normal brain. And he's like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, master. And he hears a freaking noise and just gets scared and drops the fucking brain. And he just grabs the next thing that he can find and just says, Abby normal. No, it just says abnormal brain. And I instantly just thought about Young Frankenstein scene with the whole Abby someone. Oh, this movie. It brings me joy in the weirdest way because it's fucked up. I'm being joyful over somebody stealing a brain to basically be used in an experiment to bring some creature bring a creature to life. I don't know. So with that actually being said, we have to talk about the birth of Frankenstein's monster. Man, this scene right here, and this is what I was going back to with earlier. I'm going back to what I was bringing up earlier with the whole perfecting the mad scientist, because this laboratory, this entire scene of just Frankenstein being unveiled through the sheets. There's a bunch of fucking electricity, gadgets, things going around. A thunderstorm's in the background. He's got like 3 sane people to witness what's about to fucking occur. The bed is lifting up. The monster is just up there being electrocuted and everything. And then he brings it down. And this is another scene apparently they edited it out. I think it got put back into it now because the version I saw had it. And I can understand why. I mean, this is 1931. To hear some shit like this after watching this scene right here is pretty like, oh no. I don't know what that was. But right after Frankenstein's monster is electrocuted, he's brought down, and we have the infamous scene where he's like, it's alive. It's alive. But here's the edited part is, in the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God. And I can totally see and understand why people were like, what the fuck? But I absolutely love just how crazed uh, Dr. Frankenstein looks here. He's just absolutely like he's just busting, you know? I have to talk about the little girl scene because this is another scene that got cut out. This is pretty crazy. And I can see why. I mean, even to this day, when we see kids fucking die in a movie, it's kind of messed up. Except if you've watched the children, those kids fucking deserve to die. Eventually, the monster ends up escaping out of Frankenstein's castle or wherever he's at, right? And he wreaks havoc on the town. He comes across a little girl, though, playing by a pond, throwing flowers in the river. Like, you know, just having her day. And she sees him, and she's not scared by him at all. She's like, hey, you know, you want to come play? And this part, it's fucked up. So she's basically trying to show him what she's doing. She's like, here, you know, basically just throw him like this, and he's like, I guess he just gets overly excited, and this is what I mean. He doesn't know. He's just reacting to what he's feeling. He doesn't understand yet. After he's like got no more flowers to throw, he's just like, fuck it, and he picks up the little girl and he just chucks her in the fucking river, and she ends up drowning. And he doesn't know what to do. He sees it. And he even reacts to that. Like I'm saying, he doesn't understand. He even reacts and he's like kind of freaking out. He's like, ugh, and he just fucking takes off. But another thing, this is essentially where the movie gets sad. Because one of the scenes to follow up with this is there's a wedding going on. I believe Dr. Frankenstein is getting married to May Clark, who plays his wife in the movie. Or bride-to-be. And the entire town is like, in a very celebratory mode. Like, everybody is just fucking popping off, drinking, dancing, doing everything that's very joyful. And it just, all of a sudden, you just see this freaking dude walking with this, like, limbless, dead body that just has no movement. It's just dangling off of his arms. And the look on his face, it's fucked up because as he's walking through the crowd, everybody kind of just stops and like, oh shit, the fuck? And he's carrying the little girl from the pond. And it's messed up. And this is where like the whole town is just like, no, fuck that. Let's go. And if I did have a dislike for this movie, then this would probably would be where it's at. Is the ending and not necessarily what you think. I did not like that ultimately Dr. Frankenstein lived. I think that he should have ended up burning along with the monster in the windmill because they have Dr. Frankenstein is chasing the monster and he wants to put him down. I get it. He's fucking wreaked havoc. I think he even tried to come at his bride-to-be earlier in the scene. And they end up at this really cool looking windmill, by the way. It's like this it's the big battle of the movie. They're fighting at the top, Dr. Frankenstein versus the monster. And the doctor ends up getting chucked off the windmill. And it looks pretty messed up. It looks like he should have broke some fucking bones right there. But no, he ends up being okay. I don't know. That didn't sit well with me. I guess, look. There is a sequel to the movie, and it is, in my opinion, actually a lot better in many ways than this first movie. But for me, I definitely felt like he should have died with the creation. That, let me know what you think in the comments. But I definitely feel the ending should have been better because in the end of the movie, it's fucked up. You have the monster burning, screaming. He gets trapped under some big log, so he's trapped. I don't know. And then you have Henry in the bed recovering. But there's a sequel. So does he die? And with that being said, I'm going to just go ahead and cut it right there. I just want to thank everybody who stick to the end of this video. I absolutely appreciate the small following that I have. And I'm just doing this because I don't know. I want to try to do something different. I've always loved movies. I've always loved talking about things. When I was little, I used to pretend I was like a disc jockey with my microphone and play radio, radio hits on my computer, stuff like that. So this was just something I've always wanted to do. I'm just glad I'm doing it. I'm not necessarily trying to make money or anything like that. I just want to talk about movies and give this is more of a reaction or just my honest opinion about things. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Happy Spookies and to the House of Frankenstein.